What is up?
What is up, guys?
Welcome back to Under the Shell episode.
28.
Cool.
Oh my god.
28.
Yeah, man.
How's it feel?
I don't know. It feels like we've been doing this for ages. It certainly doesn't feel like 28. I feel feels more like 208. I don't know.
Well,
But
that's
then again,
because if you tally up all the conversations we have that are as long as these podcast episodes, you would be at 208.
yeah. Because yeah, I uploaded today last episode with Chadwick, and I was just looking at the number and it said like 27, and I'm like, only 27? Like, are you sure?
Like
Because
Chad,
we've been doing this for a year now. It's not even a year. We started, I think it was July or something last year.
gotcha.
And yeah, but it's a good number.
28, yeah, that sounds like a good number. 27 sounds like a better number because Chadwick was there.
Yeah, it was like really good. Actually, while I was editing it, I re-listened it, and man, there's so much value in this guy's words. It's just like, I don't know.
He's the man, dude.
He has a certain aura
Oh, yeah.
to him.
Yes, he does. I agree. Yeah, I feel very blessed that I can say that I have him as a friend. Very blessed.
Yeah, all my interactions with him have been so rewarding, and I don't know. He's not at all that older than us, but it feels like you've been talking with some
He's 5 years,
wiser,
right?
older. Yeah,
Yeah.
but five years is nothing.
No? Okay.
And yeah, it feels like you're talking with like some older, wiser relative of yours, like
Mm.
talking to your dad, or sorry about this, Chadwick, but yeah. I'm saying this in a good way. It's, yeah,
Yeah,
talking
I
to somebody who knows their shit.
yeah, there's been so of the interactions I've had with him, I feel as though a lot of them have been I've kind of gone to him and been like, "All right, I present you with what I'm dealing with. You got
Mm,
anything for me?" And has been a lot of the reaction. Oh, sorry, that's been a lot of our interactions. And every time I go to him, I typically walk away feeling a lot better. But there's been a couple rare occasions where I felt, you know what? I felt like a tug. You know what? I need to hit Chadwick up today. What's he doing?
yeah.
And I'll hit him up, and lo and behold, he will have needed a call. And the last time I did that, I stepped away, and he was feeling way better after the call. And I
I,
felt so good about myself because I was like, oh, I did that thing he always does
I
for
can
me.
give back.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it was like.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
very cool. Very
True.
cool. Yeah. Sweet, man. So today I wanted to talk about the cycles of growing.
Sure. What do you mean by that?
I don't know. There's like this song by Linkin Park. It's like we build it back up, or we build it all up. How, I don't know. I can't remember the lyric goes. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
build it
what
back
was the name of that
up
song?
to tear it back down. I don't know.
Yeah, I was listening to it like the other day.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm talking about, though. Of course, that
Yeah,
lyric.
totally. I'm just trying to remember the song.
Yeah, I can't remember the song either.
So, what's your take on the cycles of growing?
Well, it starts with that song, and then there's a lot of songs that say the same damn thing. I have it written on my bathroom wall. It's like I break it, or I build up, break down, build up, break down. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's it.
and if you think about it, it's like it's applicable in so many scenarios. Even if you look at, like, because we were talking about working out prior to start recording. If you think about working out, and like the what the majority, like 99.999% of people want to do is they want to get big and they want to get lean. which are kind of two opposites to achieve at least, because as your muscle mass grows, you inevitably get some fat, and then you need to trim the fat. So you're constantly building up something, then tearing down some portion of it, then building up again, then tearing down again, and you're just refining that, like this calibration, and every time it gets better, you know.
I
But
guess, but it's also like in the case of working out, I would say it's more like you build it up by resting, you know, like you recover and build up,
yeah,
and then you break down by moving up in weight, you know, and when you move up in weight, you push harder, you tear the muscle fibers, you break down. And then in the breaking down, you feel as accomplished by
yeah,
how far you've broken it down without breaking, and then you allow yourself time to recover. You
yeah.
provide the
It's kind
fuel,
of
you
it's
know.
kind of reverse, but yeah,
Yeah, but I
yeah.
see what you're
Well,
saying. It's the
yeah,
same cycle. It's the same cycle, and we see it everywhere.
totally.
And I thought it would be a great thing to talk about today because, well, I feel as though I'm in pieces right now.
You're in the breaking down part.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I guess we all are.
I'm shattered to bits. I'm trying to put it all back together.
Yeah, and what I've noticed so far is, because I've done this for a bunch of different in a bunch of different scenarios, and every time you break it down or something forces you to break it down, and every time you're building it up, you're building it back up. First, it gets a slightly better version than last time, which is the whole point,
Mm-hmm.
but also your capability in your um, you know you're doing it more skillfully each time. It's like, there was a period. It's like assembling and disassembling your drums. It's a tedious job. Nobody likes it, but the more you do it, the more you streamline the process, the more efficient you become. You start learning, what works, what doesn't, what's necessary, what's not, and each time, you do it faster, more efficient, and you just like overall get better at it. And further down the line, because I know you do this before each cover, and you're taking it to the extreme because you're actually disassembling the drums themselves so you can clean them, and you're tuning them each time, something that very few people do. And the more you do it, you're basically repeating that process all over and over again. And
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. 100%. I feel as though
yeah,
that's the secret to being
and you're
successful.
refining that. Yeah, you're refining that
No, no,
skill.
no.
You're
Yeah, like the refine the you're in your sentence, the you're refining that is just the act of doing it over and over, you know. And
mm,
that's the key, is that when it comes, because the cycle, there's pleasure and pain in, we all
yeah,
want the pleasure part, which is the build up. And then when you get to the top of the up, it's like, it's a fucking dream up here, man. And
yeah,
you get whatever it is. There's all those pinnacles, and for wherever you are, you get to that pinnacle peak, that next plateau, that spot. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Wow.
yeah,
Everybody wants that. And then it falls apart. And then the question is,
yeah,
well, how bad do you want it still? And in the constant of the repeating of this cycle over and over, build it up, break it down, build it up, break it down. In doing that, literally Joe Rogan posted on Instagram today. It's crazy we're having this conversation. He posted on Instagram today. He says, "My progress is always 2 steps forward, 1 step back."
yeah.
And like
That's always
it's
the
not
case.
his, it's humankind's progress.
Yeah,
That's how we all go, man. That's how it works, right? And in
yeah,
that, the tough part is the breaking down. But if you get to the point where you've done it a while, you've been at it a bit, like I've been doing what I do for a living.
Mm.
I've been doing this for 15 years. So like after 15 years, um, yeah, I streamline putting the drums back together. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm starting to streamline the pain and the process of getting through the pain so that the pain isn't as difficult as it used to be. Like Lindsay made a comment. She was
Yeah.
like, I feel like we're in this phase. And she referenced a phase from our past where
Yeah.
the two of us were in agony. And I was like, oh, yeah, but it's not as bad as that anymore, is it? And she's like, nah, it doesn't hurt as much anymore. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the point, right? Because that's what putting it all together in the end is just getting comfortable with having a great success, maybe not letting it get to your head as much, and then expecting, all right, well, that was cool. I know it's not going to last. Don't identify with it, because if I
Yeah.
identify with it and I state that's me now, well, when it falls apart, it's going to really fucking hurt because you identified
Yeah.
with it
Absolutely.
because you lost yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. And on the note of facing the pain, it's like whenever you get to that point where you have to or you need to break it down and face the pain again, it's just like you start more and more feeling like, yeah, I've done this. I know what it looks like. Unfortunately, I know what it feels like.
Why
So you're just
unfortunately?
like,
Why unfortunately? But isn't
well,
it part of the
because
process? Isn't it mandatory to have the
it
next
is,
pinnacle? Yeah.
it is. But the more
Fortunate
that
you
you've
made it. Fortunate you're alive. Right?
fortunately you're alive and you made it. So whenever this you reach this point, you're just like, um, you're not panicking. You're not like in this startled,
Yeah.
I guess, mode. You're
Yeah.
just like, um, just bracing a little bit, and you're like, yeah, I know what's gonna happen. It's like driving. Well, you don't have shitty roads, I guess, in Canada, but here in Bulgaria, it's it's awful. So it's just like driving on the same shitty roads filled with potholes, and you just know what's gonna happen. So you just, you know, put on your seatbelt, hang to something, and you just like
Yeah.
expect
The
to.
Lindsay calls it the oh shit handle. The thing in the car that you can
Yeah,
grab.
you
Oh
grab the
shit.
ocean, you grab the ocean handle, and you just wait for it to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's what I mean, I've reached a certain level of success. Am I where I want to be? Like there was an Attila song that came out recently, and the lyrics were so great. Shouts to Attila. They watched my reaction video. They commented back, "Thank you
oh,
so much." Yeah, very cool of them. They in the song can't give them enough praise. They said, and by they, of course, probably Franz who wrote it, says,
mm,
uh, "I am not where I want to be." And then he says something about like, but you can damn well bet I'm good enough, and it's like, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I'm not where I want to be, but where I'm at's pretty sick, so that's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's cool. And it's important. I think it's important to have that, because if you get stuck in the longing, a lot of pain, a lot of unnecessary pain. We don't want unnecessary pain. We want necessary pain. We always want necessary pain, because the
yeah,
necessary pain brings about the fortunate pleasure, the successes, But the unnecessary pain is the thing we want to minimize, And in bringing
absolutely,
about the necessary pain over and over and being able to differentiate between the necessary and the unnecessary, well, we find a streamlined version of the cycle, which is the build it up, break it down, build it up, break it down. And we get comfortable with that. And in getting comfortable with that cycle over and over, we repeat that process, we rinse and repeat. We start to find real progress. And then we start to hit those achievements that we've been working towards, And I think, I think that's, well, I'm on the side right now that's in pieces, but I've been here so many
yeah,
times that I'm not scared by it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. And I I guess it's gonna be part of the theme of this podcast of us mentioning songs, but I immediately think of I think it was Architects. I'm not pretty sure.
cool.
I might be wrong, but there was this line that stuck with me. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to
Mm,
die.
no, that's Bring Me the Horizon.
That's Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. I've died 1,000 times. That's what he
yeah,
says.
yeah, yeah. It's Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah,
So it's back to what you said. Everybody
yeah,
wants to experience the high, and everybody wants to
but
be,
nobody wants to pay the price.
but nobody wants to pay the price.
Yeah,
And what I find myself over and over, especially lately, going through, and something that really helps me cope with the part that nobody
the
wants to
pain.
go through,
Yeah,
yeah, the pain, is like as soon as something bad happens, or something that you not so desirable outcome, or whatever hurdle or struggle it is, I somehow learn to immediately drop the feelings of denial, I guess, and the feelings of why me? It shouldn't have happened this way. It should have been this or that. You know, it happened. It's a physical fact. It happened. That's your reality now. 5 minutes ago, it wasn't. Now it is. So stop whining and start working with your different reality,
yeah,
with
with
your
your new
new
reality.
reality.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
new reality. Yeah, that's right.
So somehow I managed to really speed up this process. So now immediately after something, you know, bad, let's call it bad, happens, I'm just like literally in terms of 10
I don't
seconds,
like
I'm like,
bad. I'm gonna correct that real quick. Let's go undesirable.
okay, yeah, right.
Undesirable,
So
because bad often turns into good real quick. So let's say undesirable.
yeah, yeah. So as soon as something undesirable happens, in really like in terms of 10 seconds, I'm in 10 seconds I'm doing all my uh, you know uh, the first stages of denial, whatever, why me, whatever it is. And 10 seconds later, I'm restrapping myself, and I'm like, okay, so let's do it. We've got some new shit to deal with, so
Yeah,
might as well start doing it.
yeah.
Because everything else different than this, for me at least, is a total waste of time, total waste of opportunity. And you can't really just dwell on something that's no longer there, whatever it is, whatever it might be. For example, my injuries, I did some stupid injuries. My right arm is, the elbow is the only joint that's currently working properly. And as soon as I received the injuries to my wrist and to my shoulder, I knew it. Like, I'm gonna be out for quite some time.
Hmm.
And it was a debilitating thought because I just love moving.
Yeah.
Um,
And as
but
a
then again,
drummer, your arms are rather important.
yeah, and but then again, in terms of 10 seconds, I was like, okay, so this is our new reality. I can't turn back time. Um, it's gonna be like this for a while. So might as well just go on YouTube and start looking up rehab exercises.
Yeah.
So like literally in terms of a day, and maybe even less than a day, I went from a dude who's not injured, pretty much everything's fine, to somebody who has to, train with elastic bands and stuff like this. And it was just such a seamless transition. It was just like, okay, so this is what we're doing now.
Oh, that's how
It's
you
yeah.
felt?
Uh, no, I
Oh, okay.
I tried to do a rather complex calisthenics move with no warm up, and this is what you get. So stretch, guys. Make your warm ups. It's important because yeah, in order to save up 5 minutes, you're paying it with a full month. So yeah, better spend your 5 minutes so you don't have to spend a month. But yeah, I mean, we're getting astray here with all
Yeah, but
this.
keep going, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you start learning, and I can't really count the amount of times I've heard this advice in my life. Warm up before you do something like this, and you feel like, yeah, I'm 20 something, I'm still young, I'm invincible, this doesn't apply to me, whatever. But then it happens and you're like, okay, maybe I should have listened, when people told me this shit. And it's, we're not talking only about warming up here, we're talking about general life lessons. And but I guess this is my way of learning stuff. I need to break something, I need to break it down. Do you see the full circle?
Mm-hmm.
So I need to, I need to break it down, so I'm forced to build it back up so I can learn this lesson. That's, something as simple as just warming up your hand, your arms and your shoulders for 2 minutes, not even 5, 2 minutes, can prevent a full month or maybe more of recovery, rehab, expenses going to a PT, and stuff like this. So yeah, sometimes you need to break it down, so that you can, I don't know, engrave the lesson, and you can really understand why
So,
you have to do something.
so I want to talk about something based off of what you just said. That I guess a little bit. I'm going to bring a little bit of what we were talking about before the
Yeah.
podcast into. So let me just set this up. Something that you came back to a couple times before me, and I thought was I admired in what you were saying. I was like, oh wow, that's dope of him to be able to see. Is that you were setting intention with your life currently? Like that's the most beautiful thing you can do, I think personally, is when a man can come to take responsibility for all things and set intent based on where he is and where he wants to go. Like that's just
Mm,
beautiful. It implies responsibility on a higher level. It implies a certain level of mindfulness. It's like it's the sole thing I credit myself coming to at certain points in my life to be able to achieve any level of success whatsoever. So I think that's really, really cool. That being said, something that you were talking about was, you were talking about, I set this intention and this is the price. And I was like,
yeah.
whoa, he identified that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's something that's important too. So this is for the listeners and you as well. Um, that's something important to keep in mind. Like if you've got a goal written on your wall, you write that shit down on your wall, you write it in your notebook, you write it in your journal, you tell your parents about it, whatever it is, whatever you're going to be pushing towards, whatever you said is, all right, that's the motherfucking thing I'm gonna do with this chance, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and you go after it with that kind of like, my turn, um well, it's going to get immediately difficult, right? Like that's what I
Yeah.
find is like when I come to points where I'm like, yo, I don't really know, I kind of hit all the things that I wanted to, so what's next? And then I'll write down what's next. That's a thing unto itself, which is, I've arrived at goals in my life and then I've taken like weeks, if not years at some point to like, okay, this is great where I'm at, but like what's next now? And then eventually it starts to
Yeah.
come into clarity and then you set it. And when it sets, it's a powerful moment. I remember calling up Taylor Chadwick and being like, hey man, you're not going to believe what we're doing next. Check this out. And I told him, and he goes, "Whoa, that's exciting!" And it's also really cool how like so profound it is that you've like decided to do this, and it just literally becomes your reality. And I was like, "Well, yeah, because I did that once, and it got me to the first checkpoint. So why not just do it again and get a second
Yeah.
checkpoint?" He's like, "I guess that makes sense." I'm like, "Yeah." And the second I set the second checkpoint in the future, boom, it's like, holy fuck, does it break down? Like,
Here
holy
comes the
fuck,
shit.
here comes
Yeah.
the shit. But it's so important to the process to keep in your mind, to keep in your mental at all times. And maybe you're a person at home who's dealing with some shit right now, and you don't see this relevance. So maybe I can be some clarity for you. And if that's the case, then that's I hope that I can be that. And that's this. It's that. You asked for this shit. You asked for it. So own it, man. Just
Yeah,
own it.
totally,
Just
totally.
own it. And as tough as it is, whatever it is, just own it. Because out the other side, we get closer to where we want to be. And you asked for it at the end of the day. You set the goal. You wrote it on your wall. You put it in your phone. You told your girlfriend about it. You let your parents know, whatever it is, you said it. So now you're going through the pain. That's the breaking down so that you can build it up eventually. And in the building up, you find the arrival at the destination. And it might take that cycle repeating 100 times over the course of 15 years, like it was for me to get to one of the ones that I hit in the last 2 years. Or it might be a smaller thing that's on the road to a bigger thing, anyways, and you only need two rotations of that cycle. So you're closer than you
Yeah,
think. But whatever it is, it's coming to you because you asked for it and it's what you need. So lean into that. Don't back away from it. It's in the backing away that we find we get lost. Right?
yeah, yeah. And these age-old sayings are there for a reason. All the they're so cliched nowadays, but like something as simple as kill be careful what you wish
Yeah.
for you might
Yeah.
just get it.
Yeah. For
And
real. I can't even. I like.
yeah, I mean, this is such an old saying, and but it's so true. And also I could add to it, the universe has some pretty wicked dark sense of humor. So whatever you wish for and set your intentions to, just get ready to get your ass handed to you, and get ready for it to happen in a way that you never even imagined is gonna happen. Because you when you're setting your intention about something, you're thinking about the end result, and you're not thinking about how it's gonna happen because you don't really know. But once it start happening, you're at least me, I have these brief moments of like, oh, so actually it's happening, but why in this way, for God's sake,
Yeah.
um and
Yeah.
it's happening so multiple times. And now, when I you know when I set out an intention, or I really put my desire out there for something, I'm just ready for anything. Because yeah, I mean, and I always come back to the first book that I read about this, that you actually showed me, the E-squared.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I always come back to this example, and it's so true. I don't know if it's even a real example, but it's so descriptive of what I'm saying. And it was like some dude, I don't know, he wished for him to be sleeping in a bed with two women at the same time. And
Okay.
like, and like a month later, he started dating somebody, a woman. But she had, she was divorced and she had a daughter. So like a month later, he was sleeping in the bed with his new girlfriend and her daughter, and on the other side, because the daughter was scared or something. So he really did sleep with two women in the same bed.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
gotta be
just like, it's
specific, bro.
it's you gotta be fucking specific, because you will get it. But
God
how?
damn, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so
yeah,
funny. Yeah, there was I think it was like The Secret, like the original fucking like
yeah.
laughable introduction to the law of attraction, as they said in that book. It was like there's one that's like whatever you like. There was like a painter, and it was like whatever you want, just paint it. And he like painted himself with a ton of women, and he started going on lots of dates or something. It was like that. It was like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I just finished a book which I remember buying, like an impulsive buy, at a superstore, like, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Okay.
and it was just so sketchy. So I don't even know why I bought it, but I guess there is some some higher purpose behind all our actions,
Hmm.
because it turned out to be a great book, and it's by Napoleon Hill.
Oh
You
yeah, yeah,
know, but it's not Think and Grow Rich. It's actually his last book, which is let me see how it's, because it's in Bulgarian, but let me see how it's translated.
yeah. Okay.
Rich with, yeah, okay. It's called, in English, it's called Grow Rich with Peace of Mind.
And this
So
is like a follow up to the Think and Grow Rich book.
well, no, it's a whole different book, but I guess he used the Grow Rich um, words just for marketing,
Oh,
and
okay.
just to, yeah, um, because Think and Grow Rich is his most famous book ever.
Yeah.
But it's nothing of the sort. I mean, in the whole book, there wasn't even a single sentence about making money. It was all like pure and really well written law of attraction, like the whole book, and it had nothing to do with money. It was all about, you know, like the wealth of your soul, the wealth of your, being calm, being in a relaxed, peaceful state, and how to achieve that,
Mm.
and all this.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah,
Makes
it's it
sense.
was it was a great read. And the strangest thing, I mean, I bought it like 2 years ago, and I guess, I don't know, I wasn't ready back then for this, and I just started reading it at the right time, and it just hit home in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I feel that if I've read it like 2 years ago, I don't know, I would laugh, or I would think this is some voodoo hippie stuff that I wasted my money on. So yeah.
There's a yeah, because like grow rich with peace of mind. It's like I don't know. There's this like I think I might have shared this with you at one point, but I'll restate it here for the viewers, obviously, and
Mm.
that's that there was this study done. I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm gonna paraphrase it so you guys get the idea, and then you can go look it up and find out what I'm really talking about. But there was a study done at one point where they basically it was like a survey more than a study, and essentially what it was it was uh, it stated that there's a threshold in how much money an individual has to make to be able to achieve happiness. But the amount of money is very small. You know, like in the
Mm.
Western world, if you're in North America, if you're in Canada, the United States, the amount of money was like just above minimum wage. I think it was like very small. If you can provide for yourself and you can provide for
Yeah.
like a wife and a kid kind of thing, like you're in a state where you make far more than the threshold to achieve happiness, right? And the really profound thing about reading this, I can't remember what book it was in that I saw this. The really profound thing about reading this was essentially that, like, it was that age old, like, money can't buy your happiness. You know, there's an amount. Like, you have to have a roof over your head, so when it snows, you're not fucking freezing, right? And you
Yeah.
got to be able to eat food, and you got to have like a nice bed, kind of thing. And like outside of that, once you have those things, like happiness at that point is your responsibility, and you can't buy it. You can't like that new TV, that blah blah blah, whatever the fuck it is.
You don't need that shit.
None of this shit matters, you know. And that's like I feel like that's what that book is describing is that like once you get to that point, like start going after the things that are going to fill your soul, you know. And that's not like make money to whatever. It's like, you know, give some money away if whatever, help somebody out, whatever, you know, like I don't know. It's different for
Yeah,
every
yeah.
one of us. We all have our purpose, you know. And that's what that is tap into that, be quiet enough so you can hear it, listen to it, and then follow it and tap into that, and then you arrive at, you know, whatever it is that you really need, want from this life, because it's not money. Like if you're
It's
making
not.
like 70K a year and you're just grinding your ass off and you're fucking depressed and you're like, if I can just get this raise, everything will be better. I promise you it won't be better. You like grass is greener, you're gonna
Yeah,
end up there and you're gonna be like, well, did nothing for me. You know. So that's what that is.
totally. Yeah, and yeah, I mean,
We're just riffing at this point. How long have we been going?
it's 35.
Should we call it?
We can.
I think this was good.
Yeah.
I mean, we're both going through shit. We're both bogged down in our own stuff. So like you can't expect like an hour of whatever.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
real,
gonna be, and we've been talking like 30 minutes prior to that,
prior
so
to, yeah. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I think this was a good 30 minutes. I think anybody who listens to this would